welcome back to my channel. If you are new, hi, my name is Lauren and I make beauty, home, lifestyle, and pregnancy videos here on YouTube. So if you're not subscribed yet, please click that button down below to subscribe and hit the little bell so you get notified every time I post a new video. But yeah, this is going to be my 12-week pregnancy update. Now currently I'm actually 16 weeks, but I am filming this kind of backwards just because we were moving the week of when I was 12 weeks pregnant. We were in the middle of moving and we were moving out of our apartment and into my in-laws house. We are actually in our new apartment now, but there was about a couple weeks where we were living with my in-laws. So I have all of my symptoms and everything written down on my phone. Okay, so the first thing is, as far as like how I was feeling, my boobs hadn't really been hurting at 12 weeks. That kind of went away. Still no nausea. The good thing is that my food aversions kind of went away, so I finally felt like I could eat like real food again, like chicken and vegetables and stuff. Not that I did though. I was still craving like junk food, which I tried my hardest not to eat, but when we were in the middle of moving, I did have like a lot of Chick-fil-A and stuff like that, and I made sure to consult with my doctor, because at one point I was kind of like having anxiety and guilt about eating fast food because we were moving, and I asked the doctor, like, is this negatively affecting the baby, and da-da-da, and she pretty much told me, no, you're just gonna blow up. So I have calmed down on the junk food since then, since we're not in the middle of moving, and it's kind of hard when you live with your in-laws and you don't really have like your own kitchen to cook or anything, so we were having to eat out a lot. But I was trying to eat healthy options, like going to McAllister's and getting a grilled chicken wrap, or I was craving a lot of salads. That is one thing. So normally when I'm not pregnant, I'm not a salad person, but I was craving a lot of salads. So any kind of chicken salad with ranch dressing, but in the salad I wanted like spinach and like hearty greens, and then I wanted like cucumbers, tomatoes, croutons. I was just super into salads, which I still am right now. And then this is kind of when I started getting a little moody. So I don't know if it was like the stress from moving and then like being around a lot of people, and because like living with my in-laws and just being like out of my element, or I don't know what it was, but I felt like weeks like 12 to 14 I was just so moody, so grumpy, just like irritable all the time. James could definitely tell, because normally I'm not that moody of a person, and I didn't think I was at all in the first trimester really until I hit 12 weeks, and that's when I felt grumpy all the time, and I knew I was being grumpy, but I couldn't control it. But this is the week that I actually started to have a little more energy. So up until 12 weeks I was like dead, like exhausted, could not move, could not get off the couch, would lay down while I was eating like on the couch because I was just so tired all the time. And then around 12 weeks, I seemed to really get my energy back, and I was just kind of like, yeah, let's do stuff. Like, I just wanted to rock and roll. So when it came to our 12-week appointment, that is the appointment generally where they do like the full testing on you, and for at least with my OBGYN, you don't get an ultrasound, you just get to hear the heartbeat on the Doppler, and then they do blood tests. So they get like 4 things of blood, and they test you for like absolutely everything. I mean, I can't even remember everything they tested me for. Like, just every part of your blood, and then like STDs, and then like your health on certain things. Like, just a lot of tests. And so I was having a lot of anxiety after getting the tests, and I don't really know. James was like, what are you having anxiety about? I don't really know what my anxiety was about. I think more so because I didn't know what they were testing me for, and I was like, what if they tell me I have some disease or da-da-da? So that whole week, like after they tested me, and then to the point where like I got the results emailed to me because I have like their online system, I was like a nervous wreck. I kept thinking, like every time my phone would ring, that the doctor was calling to tell me that I was like dying of something, or I needed to come in and discuss my results, or I don't know, I just had like really bad anxiety that week for some reason. Let me know if any of you moms had that too. I think it's just scary when they're like, all of a sudden you're like healthy and you think you're fine, and then you get pregnant and all of a sudden you're being tested for like everything under the sun. Oops, sorry. All of a sudden you're being tested for everything under the sun, and it can get a little bit overwhelming, I think. But thankfully test results came back like a few days later. Every single thing they tested me for was normal, and it was like a huge weight off my shoulders. Now, at the actual doctor's appointment, they went to check the heartbeat and she was having some trouble finding it. And I wasn't too worried because she said that she could see the number, we just weren't hearing it. So she's like, don't freak out. She's like, it seems like baby's just moving a lot, and I have a really long torso. I am 5'7", so she was like, it seems like baby's just flipping around in there. She's like, I keep seeing big numbers flash on my screen, so I know there's a heartbeat somewhere in there. I just can't find it. So thankfully, I actually got to get an ultrasound because they couldn't find the heartbeat. So that was super exciting. And I will insert pictures of the ultrasound now. Okay, so this is one. You can see the head and the body, so it's like a little side profile. Now, here is the front view. I don't know if you can see the skull. If I turn it this way, maybe it will help. So baby is looking right at the camera. And so we got to get an ultrasound, which was awesome. I mean, it was super quick, but it was just nice to like see the baby. And it's crazy how much the baby grew from looking like a little jelly bean at 8 weeks to 12 weeks looking like an actual baby. One of the pictures is a little creepy looking because the baby's looking like directly at the camera, and it just kind of looks like a skull because at this point they're just kind of all bone and skin. There's no fat. Another thing I found out is my blood type. So I am Rh negative, meaning that when you have your blood type, you're either A positive or A negative, B positive or B negative, AB positive or AB negative, O positive or O negative. And the negative blood types are a lot more rare than the positive blood types, and they don't mix well with the positive blood types. So if you have, so if you have positive blood, you can receive blood from someone with your blood type who has positive or negative. So say you had A positive blood, you could receive blood from someone with A positive or A negative. But if you have A negative blood, you can only receive from A negative. So the negative people can only get blood from their negative. At least that's what it was explained to me. So with me being Rh negative and having a negative blood type, I did have to get a shot because the only reason they gave it to me, normally they wait till 27 weeks, is because I was having a little bit of just light brown spotting, and they said if for any reason I bleed at all during the pregnancy, and if my blood mixed with the baby's blood, if the baby happens to have a positive blood type, my body would not like that, and my body would create antibodies to actually try and get rid of the baby. So we did not want that to happen, so I got my RhoGAM shot in my butt, and then they did an antibody screening, and thankfully my body had not started creating antibodies against the baby. And since I have that RhoGAM shot, I am covered until later in the pregnancy, and then they said they'll give me another one before I deliver. I feel like I'm screaming at y'all. I'm like out of breath. This is my first like sit down video in a while, and I feel like I'm just screaming. And also, since we're in a new setup, like I don't have a mirror behind the camera, so I don't know how close or far away I am. And I feel like I'm yelling, so I apologize if I am. But something I thought that was, one last thing that I thought was really cool is that now I moved, so we don't live in North Carolina anymore, but with my health provider in North Carolina, they actually offer completely free therapy with a licensed psychologist when you're pregnant. So they do this to try and help women with pregnancy anxiety, also to help and prep for postpartum like depression. So they take that very seriously. So if you're having any anxiety during pregnancy, or if you have a passive anxiety or depression, it's completely free, and you can have as many therapy appointments as you want. You can go every week, and you talk to the psychologist. I mean, just about anything and anything. It doesn't have to be pregnancy related, but they said that way it kind of helps the person get a hold of their anxiety and then maybe realize if they have postpartum after pregnancy, or to help them with coping mechanisms after pregnancy so that they don't get postpartum, which I thought was really great. Now, I do have a history of anxiety and depression, so they did recommend me to that. So I did go to one therapy session before I moved, and it was absolutely amazing. Me and her really clicked. I wish I could keep going to her, but she was just awesome, and I thought that was something really great that North Carolina offered. Now, as far as bump, I did not have a bump yet at 12 weeks pregnant. I was still pretty flat, so I do not have a bump date. Stay tuned though. I'm going to be posting my 14-week bump date update either later this week or next week, and it is a little more detailed. I did have a bleeding scare, so I have a lot to update you guys on in the 14-week pregnancy update, and I do have a bump now, so that picture will be in that update, or like I said, you can follow me on social media, and I'll link that down below. But yeah, leave a comment, ask me any questions that you want to. I love hearing from other moms or other people that are pregnant if they went through the same things as me. So if any of you have like Rh negative blood, or I mean, just honestly anything, it's very like comforting to be pregnant, because pregnancy is scary. I don't think people realize how scary it is until you're pregnant. It's like a little stressful, but totally worth it. So yeah, please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and then subscribe if you would like. And I hope you guys have a very blessed day, and please continue to pray for baby Midgley. Thank you.